শুরু করতে যাচ্ছি টিফার আজকে প্রথম অধিবেশন রাইডিং উইথ আ প্যাশন। সাথে আছেন ডক্টর দিলীপ চক্রবর্তী, রোকসানা লেস এবং সুধীর সাহা।
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Subrata Kumar, the Bengali writer. I invite you all to a session called Writing as a Passion. And you'll be happy to know that we the Bengalis, we are participating in TIFA for the third time this year. In 2020, we first participated and we had 3 sessions in that year. And last year we got 2 sessions also, and in both the years we had 10 participants. And for this year we have got altogether 11 writers. And today we shall have 2 more sessions. One will be at 1 and last one will be at 4:30. And for this session, I like to invite the other 3 panelists. They will be sharing about their experiences of writing and writing in Bengali and writing in Bengali living in Canada. That is the most important thing. And for that session, first of all, I like to invite Dr. Dilip Chakraborty. Let me introduce Dr. Dilip Chakraborty. Dr. Chakraborty is a former eminent educator, and I must mention that we have celebrated Dr. Chakraborty's 86th birth anniversary some months before. And in that event, we actually launched his last book, the autobiographical English book named Gene, the memoir of a Canadian Bengali. And he has altogether 4 books to his credit. He was born in Bangladesh, then East Pakistan, and later on in 1947 during the partition, his family left Bangladesh or East Pakistan for India, and there he did his MA in English literature from 2 universities, meaning that he has got 2 master's degree and 1 PhD in English literature. Dr. Chakraborty, thank you very much for joining TIFA. Now I like to invite Sudhir Saha. Sudhir Saha, what should I say? He was born in Bangladesh. He was a graduate from Dhaka University. He was a lawyer by profession, but more than that, I should say, he was an army officer. But he was an army officer, but more than that, he was actually a writer. And by now, he has more than 20 books to his credit. He has been doing here a business firm, conducting a business firm, but the most important thing is that he has been writing very hugely on the socio-political issues of Bangladesh and of the international context as well. Thank you very much, Sudhir, for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
The microphone is on. Now I like to invite Roksana Lais. Roksana Lais is a poet, a short story writer, a prose writer, a traveler writer, and whatnot, because she has been living in Canada for how many years? More than 20 years, but the thing is that he hasn't lost her interest in writing in Bengali. He has been writing all the time, every day, every week. Her writings are published in many newspapers, online things, etc., etc. And she did her post-graduation from Dhaka University of Bangladesh. And if I mention some of the English translations of the titles of her books, that would be Blue Water and the Moonlight, In the Stream of Unknown, Connection, A Journey of Light, Golden Light in a Rainy Moment, In Search of Dream City, and Letter to Sky. Thank you very much, Roksana, for being with us. And before going to the session, we acknowledge that words and stories that have been shared on this land for thousands of years. Toronto International Festival of Authors operates on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Wendat peoples. The land is home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit, a treaty to share and protect this land through friendship and respect. We thank those who have cared for this land, and we are grateful for the opportunity to meet here and connect with one another through stories. Ladies and gentlemen, if we look around Canada, look across Canada, we find that there are writers of Bengali language from coast to coast to coast. We have Bengali writers in Vancouver. We have Bengali writers even in the far east of Halifax. We have a good number of writers in Canada, in Toronto as well. You will be happy to know that the Bengalis are very much enthusiastic in literary things. And they are so much enthusiastic that one of the writers of the Bengali community living in Halifax, he is now here in the audience with us, Otonu Dasgupta. Otonu, thank you very much for coming to TIFA. And we are so much enthusiastic that Bengali Community Television, NRB, and the weekly newspaper, the Bangla Mail, they have sent their representative to cover this news. Many of you know that Bengali is one of the three languages. Other than English and French, three languages have been included this year. One is Tamil, the other is Arabic, and the rest one is Bengali. And we, the Bengali writer, we are really very much proud that our language has been included and being recognized by the TIFA people. Now, we have got here present three very senior writers. Dr. Chakraborty, the very senior most one. All the time I say he is a Pandit person. One of the very much scholarly person, Dr. Chakraborty. He lives in Brampton. My first question is to Dr. Chakraborty. You started writing on some 8 years ago, in 2016. This is very interesting. Till 2016, we didn't see, or the history doesn't say anything he wrote, or might be not that very significant. in 2016 we got the first Bengali book by him. What actually made you interested in starting writing? And why didn't you write it before, during your long career?
In one word, I will say, I did not publish any book before because I had not met Subrata Kumar before. He was the man who was a catalytic agent. Up to the age of 78, I had no published book. And suddenly one day, when he was just newly arrived, and I just came to know him only for a few years back, he came to my house all of a sudden and told me point blank, Chakraborty, you are such a profound scholar. How come you have not published work? I was flabbergasted. I was a scholar. I never knew that. And you are the first man. So I took time to compose myself. Then I said, I do not dare because I don't know whether people will adopt it. He said, no, go on. And he was the man who first encouraged me to write something. Then I dared, and I could write my first published book. And in this way, I must say, another gentleman, Sudhir, he is very much here. He was the man who introduced me to Subrata Kumar. As we all know, George Chapman, I took the right turn, and that made all the difference. The right turn was to meet Subrata Kumar through Sudhir Kumar. And that emboldened me, that gave me strength that I can do. For the first time, I published my book when I was 78 years old. And after that, you'll be glad to know that so far I have published 3 more books. And the last one is recently passed, only last month. And there also, the whole credit, at least majority of the credit, goes to this poor man, Subrata Kumar.
Thank you very much. You can understand that he loves me very much, and so he is saying that way. Thank you very much, Dr. Chakraborty.
You can't help loving him. He's such a person.
Thank you very much. And now we'd like to pass on to Sudhir Saha. Sudhir Saha, he has been writing for the last 3 decades, or it could be more than 3 decades. And during the 90s of the last century, he actually started writing. You are a retired army officer then, and most probably you are then a law practitioner, so far I can recollect. And may I ask you, what actually encouraged you to come to writing?
Actually, the answer is very simple. It's passion. Maybe that is the reason people, the Chakraborty didn't know that in his inside a writer is sitting. But when a scope came, he understood that yes, he can write. So passion is like that. When you get a scope, your passion comes out. I started writing actually more before that. I wrote a poem. I now remember. That was my starting. I wrote a poem on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. I think
the founder father of
Bangladesh. He was then, I think in 1972, I believe, if I am not wrong. And after I went to Dhaka College, I met one friend. He was actually a poet. At that time, at that age, he was a poet. So I showed him my poem. I wrote it, and he said, "Can I get some adjustment? Can I get some corrections?"
Editing on that.
Yeah, I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And after that, I found that he changed almost all. That is, So I understood this is not my job actually. This is not my one. So I stopped writing poem. That was the one poem I wrote, and I stopped.
Only one poem in
Only
your,
one
in your
poem
life.
in your life, and another poem at this age is with for Pohela Boishakh. I wrote another poem. That's the different issue, but that was my
The first
writing
day,
the poem.
the first day of the Bengali New Year.
But in 1991, actually, I published a book. It is on narcotics, law, narcotics, and the society. And Bengali-Canadian published that book. And
The first book of yours was published by the
Bengali-Canadian. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
I was fortunate that was a text book. They have a textbook non-fiction category, and that was a textbook category, and that was a reference book for Dhaka University students for social science, law, and like this. So that was my first book, and then I continued writing in newspapers. Actually, still I am writing in Bangladesh newspapers. There are 5 daily newspapers continuously and regularly published my articles, and
You are all the time contributing to 5
five national dailies, yeah. And that is so on that aspect, that is my subject of research, that is my subject of reading and all the studies and everything. So I jot down in my mind, I wrote down something and that was published, and that is being published. That is the writing. Nobody forced me to write, nobody told me to write, but it's coming.
But I was wondering, in 1972 or in 1992, when the first book was published,
91, I believe.
in 91, okay, then what actually made you interested to make something like a book-like thing?
There was a Subrata there.
Oh, okay.
In Bengali-Canadian, there is a
Someone encouraged me.
Moinuddin Ahmed. If I strongly recollect, Moinuddin Ahmed, I believe.
Oh,
He was the
Moinuddin Ahmed,
director.
the publisher of the
Yeah.
UPL.
No,
No, oh.
that is the Mohiuddin Ahmed.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
Mainuddin Ahmed, I believe.
Oh, okay, the other person.
But other person, he was the director of Bengali-Canadian at that time.
Oh.
In the text, he encouraged me, and perhaps you all know that the great man of Chittaranjan Saha, Muktadhara Puthikar.
He's actually referring the very major publishing houses of
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, and he insisted me, you can write, and Mainuddin Ahmed insisted me, you can write on your law subject or narcotics like that. So I started research, and after that I found that okay, I wrote something maybe.
And it was published.
It was published.
And thank you very much after 40 years. Or not 30, after 30 years.
30 years.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sudhir Saha. And now let me go to Roksana Lais. And as I was telling Roksana, you are one of the most productive Bengali writers living in Canada. Yes, I all the time observe these things, who people are writing from where, and in what newspapers or Bengali writers' pieces are being published, etc., etc. I all the time monitor this. Yes, and many novels, books of poetry, travel writings, prose books you have written. All the genres you have tried, I have found. And the same question, if I make to you, when did you start writing?
Thank you, Subrata, and thank you, TIFA, to give me this opportunity to talk, and all audience here. I'm very happy that you guys are listening. So I think I born as a writer. I started writing when I didn't understand very much. I was listening the song on that time in radio, and I found the rhythm is nice and the melody is nice, and I started making the mix up, the rhyming of words. And I was writing maybe when I just don't understand very much. So I started
At the
writing.
age of 5, 6, like that?
No, kind of 10, 12 maybe.
10, 12.
Yeah.
And could you please tell us at what age your first writing was published?
My first, then I actually got very shy and I didn't show my writing when I was writing young. Then I started, I didn't show anybody, and when I was in like youth, in university, that time my first writing came out in Bangladeshi newspaper.
Oh. And what was that? Was that a poem or story?
It is a poetry.
Oh, it was a poem.
Yes, poem.
Okay.
So that time, before I came to Canada, I was a very big connection with all Bangladeshi writers, poet and author, story writer, everybody. I was very much connected, and I was participating all these programs. And I remember the first day I recited my poem. It was Jatiyo Kobita Utsav in
Which is the national festival
in Bangladesh.
The
And
poetry
first
festival.
time it started in 1987.
Yes.
And I was reading my poem and I was shaking because it is the huge crowd,
Yeah.
huge. And I never read before, and I was shaking, and all these famous writers was beside me. And it started from then, and that year my first poetry book came out. And that was a book about, I was saying, there was lots of problem we are going to politically on that time, and I didn't feel comfort. I was put the name of
But in which year your first book was published?
is 87.
Oh, 87. And the title of the book was?
Look for the good city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was the Bengali title?
It's a Shopna Nagorir
Oh,
Khoje.
Shopna Nagari. Thank you.
Look for a dream city.
Thank you very
So,
much.
and then maybe I was searching inside myself, and I'm in Canada, looking for that dreaming city, and I am here.
And
But
could you please tell our audience that how many books altogether you have now to your credit? Altogether?
I have altogether 7 books.
Or 7?
7, yeah. But I can publish more, but I don't want too much. And I always write, I would like to change. Not the same thing I was overwriting. So I tried, and my life changed as I moved to Canada, and it was difficult living in a new environment,
New society.
I had to learn a lot, and I had to, as a woman, as a mother, I had to do more work. So I was taking care of my children, but my writing is actually passion, and I always write in my head. It's continuously I'm writing. If I can finish all my writing, which is in my head, it will be big volume of writing.
Thank you, Roksana. I'll be back to you again later. Now again I'm going to Dr. Chakraborty. Dr. Chakraborty, by now, so far we have read your books. Almost all of them delineate your personal life, full of autobiographical elements. Do you have any next plan to write something which is not autobiographical or which is about something else?
Thank you very much. Yes, I do have, but I don't know whether I will be able to complete it. If I get another Subrata, I think I will be able to.
Well, you need another Subrata. Or one Subrata is not enough for him.
I hope I would like to be able to fulfill my plan. I do have, because I have an idea. I'm only halfway through. It was in my first Bengali book. It was based that a man is a failure in the civilized society. But my point is, when he somehow reached the so-called aboriginal society, Adivasi you can say, he got the meaning of his life to understand. So from this point, there was a jump, transformation, that he became successful. Though in the civilized society, he was a utter failure. So this I have in mind, but for that I am to do some reading, etc. And I hope, and if my God willing, Rab ne chaha, inshallah, I will be able to do this preliminary work, and then I will try to dive into the plan of writing. And one thing more, I am passionate before I knew the meaning of the word passion. Reason was, I was brought up, I used to live with my Nana, one generation up. And he was a student of Rabindranath Tagore. And he always sang Tagore songs and Tagore poems. And unfortunately, initially when I was a kid, I thought Rabindranath Tagore was a cook. Because in our house, someday, for 2 months, we had to employ somebody to cook our food. And we used to call him Thakur. So I thought Rabindranath was a great cook.
Because the Bengali name of Rabindranath Tagore is Rabindranath Thakur.
How come? From his gorgeous look, he is such an excellent cook. This was my first, exposure to passionism. And all this poem, when I read the poem, you all read it, Bir Purush. I was so excited that I forgot everything. Once, really, I protested against some few people, and as a result, I was beaten mercilessly by them. Because there were many, I was only one, alone. So this was my passion, and I had little sense whether I was able to do. I didn't know. I jumped, and as a result, I suffered severe and many other things.
At what age that happened?
I was just going to school at that time, long back.
It means that he was a very big Purush, courageous person since his very early age. Yes. And now he has been defeated by the more courageous, more heroic person, Subrata Kumar. And do you have any other plan to write the second chapter of your memoir? The name of the memoir is Jin, Jin, and the thing is that his nickname is Jin. Many of his people, the people in his family, his friends, they actually call him Jin. So the name of the autobiography is Jin.
In fact, Jin is not my name, not my good name, not my nickname. But somehow, my daughter, Paramita, she is here. As usual, last bencher.
Thank you very much, Paramita, for being here.
And one thing more, when she was a student in a college, she was my daddy's student. That's why she did not study much in her life. Though he got merit scholarship twice, not because of me, but in spite of me. But it was her principle. I was at Aligarh Muslim University. There, people call their father like Babuji, Maji, something like that. And she was having an idea of using the word N after something. So he used to call me Babujin. Babuji, Babujin. And Babu was dropped because Babu was my name. And Jin stood. And people call me Jin. My wife, my children, my grandchildren, they all call me Jin. Though many people do not know what is the meaning and what is the reason why people call me Jin. Some say he must be following, using his jean dress, jean pant and jean shirt. So he is Jin. Some say no, he must be a good tester of wine. He might be tasting gin with slack and lime. So his name is Jin. Though I never tasted wine in my life. And some say
Never in your life? Never in your life?
that is negligible.
Oh, okay.
Because
That is very important.
sometimes to give company to some non-understanding friends of mine, I give them company. Casually. So this was the case. And others say I worked on Shelley, B.B. Shelley, poet. Shelley's view of evil. In evil, I had to do with spirit, genes, and evil spirits. So that was why the reason. But it was not so. The reason was my daughter.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that our audience has enjoyed very much his talks. Now I'm going to Sudhir Shah again. Sudhir, you are a socio-political analyst. Your writings prove your expertise in the socio-political analysis of your motherland named Bangladesh. Can you please share your experiences in this regard with our audience?
That is a painful experience actually. That's why my next attempt, actually I completed 24 books already.
Altogether 24?
Altogether 24.
And how many more to be in the process?
At least I started 2 books. One on the subject of Ukraine and Russia war. That is not the aspects of, that is not the facts of the war, but aspects of the war. That is why this war and what happens, the million people on this war, after this war, like this.
And so far I know that you are working on a novel at the moment also?
It is not the novel, actually non-fiction also. I'm writing this Ukraine and Russian war in a non-fiction way. But at the same time, I am bringing a fiction. Actually, it's a combination of fiction and non-fiction. That will be a biography, not my biography. That will be a biography of a minority. A minority by religion. We recognize or not, we tell it or not, there is a fact that minority is minority. In Canada, somebody is minority. We have to accept it. And that is the reason the government of Canada or Canadian people, they accept other people like people, other man like man, not a minority. That is their understanding, that is their thinking. But we came from Bangladesh, we came from Pakistan, we came from India. There is a showing minority, there is a minority problem, and it's existing all the times. And I am unfortunately a person of that minority from a country called Bangladesh. I came through some struggle, some questions, not answered anything in my life. I am not writing that, but I stand a person, I describe from that person what is his life and what he is now in Canada. He is in Canada. I will describe that person, a person born in Bangladesh with all the qualities, with all the education. He came to Canada while what the problem he faced in Bangladesh, and still
What problems actually made him compelled
to leave the country.
Yeah, okay.
So somebody is leaving his motherland definitely there is a reason. So I am bringing that reason, that why he is leaving his motherland, and in Canada still he is a minority. So what is the result of his life at the end? So that struggle I am bringing, that is fiction, non-fiction,
I understand, and I believe that will be very worth reading for each and every one.
Should be very soon.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay, and we believe that there will be a launching of the book, and that everyone of the Bengali community can know of that. We'll be happy. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to Roksana again. Roksana, the settings of your novels and poetry are mostly Bangladesh. Just a second. Mostly Bangladesh, the nature of Bangladesh, the villages of Bangladesh, mostly. And have you ever tried to make a different setting other than Bangladesh? That is, I was trying to ask if you have ever written a poem or a story in the setting of Canada or in any other countries you have traveled or you have lived.
My lots of writing is not only Bangladesh. People live in abroad and the character come from there. And as we are Bangladeshi, but we are living in Canada, so we have a different experience. So most of book you will find that there is so many character from abroad.
Meaning
Yes, makes
the
sense.
characters are Bangladeshi by born, but they are living in
The Bangladeshi and other also.
Other nationality.
Other nationality also, because
Okay.
as we mix up here and we can find in lots of connection, we have friend, family, we are mixing with other culture also, right? So this is coming to my writing. Yeah.
That is actually, I should say, we should thank her, because this is a very important feature that our writers are actually making their settings of their novels and poetry not only their back home but Canada also, and they are taking the Canadian people, not only the Bangladeshi ones but the other, but the people of other nationalities as well as their characters.
Yes.
And do you have any particular book on those characters or
Actually, not particular book, but all my stories, novels mostly. Like I have this book. This one is
Akasher Chithi.
Akasher
Okay, a
Chithi.
letter to the sky.
A letter to sky.
Uh-huh.
So this is a sweet couple. They came to Canada. They're living in Canada. They have a very beautiful life, and they have all the dreams they started running, thinking, and they are establishing in their life. And then this is a book. It started writing here, and then there is lots of character came from different places of the world. So, and this is written in a different structure. It is just letter, and one person writing the letter, and she didn't find the address to send the letter. So the couple was good, and all of a sudden the husband got disappeared.
That's very interesting, I should say.
So when the husband disappeared, he was going back home in Bangladesh, and from kind of Middle East, he disappeared from there. And she was waiting not a day, not a week, not a month. Months after months, year after year. And there is so many dimensions on her life. It was depressed, it was happiness, nostalgic things. So she was thinking about all these things, and she was just writing those feelings on her. So all these few different letters make this novel actually. If you read one letter, you will not get a flavor anything, but you will find something, you will maybe want to read the next letter, and at the end. So there is so many people come from different places in the world.
Thank you very much. The audience, now I'll make a question to all of them, and we'll like to have their views regarding this. Everyone, Dr. Chakraborty, Sudhir, and Roksana Lais, and I believe that if they give their views, then it will give us a new enlightenment in this regard. The question is, how do you feel writing in Bengali, even staying thousands of miles away of your back home? You are living in Canada, thousands of miles away from Bangladesh or India. How do you feel in writing Bengali? Okay, Dr. Chakraborty first.
Very good question, and I may tell you that we are lucky that we are in Canada, because Canadians have a large country and a large heart. They encompass everybody. Now, though Bengal is far away from Canada, but there is one subterranean similarity between Canada and Bengal. I may tell you, Bengal's river and Canada's stream, Bengal's river and Canada's stream, Bengal's bread and Canada's cream, Bengal's fish and Canada's bream, Bengal's vision and Canada's dream. So here we are assembled here, so we feel at ease to write in our own mother tongue, giving the experience of Canada that enriches what we write, because we want to write something in Bengali about the new village, the new atmosphere, new people, new culture, new religion, etc., which we face every time here. We are lucky to have this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chakraborty. Sudhir.
I see this way. Your mother is your mother,
Yes.
unparalleled. You cannot compare to somebody might be your motherly life. You
But
like
she
your
is not your mother.
But she is not your mother. So language is like, we can speak in English, we can speak in French, we can speak in other languages. Those are languages. Those are not my mother language. So mother language, something, it came actually from the heart, always comes from the heart, and that is feel like where your mother is. That's not a very good big question. But
the mother is in existence.
Your mother is in existence. So mother tongue or mother language, Bangla, Bengali, is it coming from our heart, and it gives you a maximum pleasure that you are writing in your. You can write in any language. I have 3 books in English, but those are not my primary major books. My major books is in Bengali.
Which are written in Bengali. Thank you very much, Roksana.
Yes, the same. Actually, mother language is living in my heart.
Yes,
And-
that is the inbuilt language.
Yeah, and I feel very comfort to writing on that, and mostly literature which I work on. I cannot make any other language, even English I tried, but Bangla is more comfortable and sweet to me, so I prefer to write in Bangla. Even to meet up other language people, of course I have to translate or I have to write in
But
English.
Bangla is the
But Bangla is more preferable and comfortable.
Thank you very much. I have another question, the last one, that will also be thrown to them, all 3. But before that, I'll make a context of that. The thing is that some weeks before, some of our Bengali writers, we joined one event organized by the Canadian South Asian festival-like thing. They participated, and there a question has arisen that is Canadian South Asia. There the question arose up, and that is, what is Canadian literature? What is Canlit? Is Canlit the literature that is written in English and French from Canada? And with the people, we try to voice out that no, people living in Canada, even if they write in other languages than English and French, that should be considered Canadian literature. I write in Bengali, my books, even my Bengali books, because I am in Canada, so my Bengali books should be considered as Canadian literature. Some other one is writing in Hindi or Urdu or in Chinese or in Japanese, in Latin, Italian. Those literature should be considered as Canadian literature. Dr. Chakraborty, what do you think?
This will enrich the domain of Canadian literature itself. If Bengali written in Bengali has taken the part of Canadian literature, it would enrich the Canadian literature as such. So it is a good idea, and I think it should be feel like that. Nothing wrong, quite reasonable.
Yes.
It's sort of like this. If you write about Canada, about Canadian, definitely that is part of the
Canadian literature. But if I write about Bangladesh, I am a Canadian, I am a Canadian citizen, Canadian PR, I am living in Canada, what I will produce, what I will create, that should be considered as Canadian literature. Why not?
It might be not, because but what I understand, I believe, Canada accepts other languages. Canada is not Bangladesh. There is no weight of other languages in other people. But here, everybody respects others' languages and everything. So, yeah, in a nutshell, in a greater sense, definitely all the languages, all the literature, all the writings, combinedly it represents the Canada and Canadians. So we are Canadians. That's why what is coming from us, definitely that is part of the Canada. So in that sense it is, but mostly if I write regarding Canada, regarding my life in Canada or your life in Canada, definitely that is part, no doubt about it.
But the thing is that most probably you have heard the name of Kim Tu. Kim Tu, yes, Kim Tu is a Montreal-based writer, and she got the Governor General Award, and all the three books are about her childhood life of Taiwan, not of Canada. She has been writing in French. Her books have been translated into English, and all the books are about Taiwan, how she lived there, how she had to leave the country, and what distresses she had gone through, not about Canada, about her back home life, and those have been given the Governor General Awards. Just a mention. Okay, now Roksana.
I think the Canada give us priority to, as we think, as we write, and they keep that priority to keep our culture. So Canada give us about bigger position to do it, but to reach to more people, we have to work on English or French. So as you mentioned, her book written in French, even she write in Taiwan, so she can meet other people, so more people can read her. So this is like we speak in back home, Bangladesh, in different colloquial language, but we prefer to write in a Shuddha Bangla, which is pure Bangla. So that's why we think we should go for English or French to translate, then other people
for
can
that reason, actually, you see, what I was focusing on, You see, TIFA has invited the Bengali language writers this year. They did it in 2020, in 2022, and this year. We are speaking in English here, but some of the times we shall have the right to speak in Bengali as well, especially in our today's session at 4:30. Bengali poetry, reading Bengali poetry. There, the writers will be allowed to read in Bengali their poems with English translation. Thank you very much. Dear audience, we have some 7 minutes in hand, and now this time it will be the question and answer session, and I would request you, if you have any questions to our honorable panelists, please do it. Okay, that is Momo Kaji, one of the very active cultural activists of the Bengali community. Momo, what's the question?
Thank you so much. So to Roksana, I have the question. Your first book was written in search of the dream city. Have you ever found your dream city?
Very good. The question is, I will repeat the question because of the recording thing. Her question was, your first book was searching the city, and has she got the city by now? Have you?
I think I got it.
Oh. She thinks that she has got
And I'm
it.
living
Very
here as my paradise. Yes.
Thank you very much. And there is Sujit Kusumpal, the researcher and writer of the Bengali community. And now Sujit will make the question to whom?
So I am asking now you, one of these trees, did you knock someone in your life who started writing after getting you knocking?
Okay, then I'm repeating the question for the recording cause. Then the panelist's very writing soul or the existence of the sleeping writer comes out. Now Sujit Kusumpal asks you if you yourself have played that role to raise the writership or the existence of a writer in any other one.
Before going for the answer, I just make a little correction.
Okay.
I said not everybody is a writer. I think that was not my intention. My intention was every writer has a sleeping attitude. That is, writer come out who is writer actually. Otherwise, now social system in social context, everybody is writing, but definitely everybody is not that writer what we mean. So that is the correction now.
Okay, no problem. But have you tried to
Encourage to other-
encourage any other one to be a writer?
I didn't.
Oh, you have?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you haven't. Okay, thank you. Dr. Chakraborty, have you ever tried?
I don't know.
Oh,
I will think about it.
oh, you will be thinking about it.
We are
later.
selfish.
Okay. And Roksana, have you ever?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
In my family, all our sibling is writer.
Oh, very good. Yes, congratulations.
And my younger sister is like inspiration for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and she is continuously writing. Even I do painting and she do painting also. So I think, one is my very like a close one. And when I came to Canada, I was working with the children. I was doing program with children, and children was started loving those things. So I did something.
Thank you very much. Any other question? Okay, we have only 2 minutes in hand. She is Jannatul Naim. She is also a very good cultural activist and a poet of our community. Okay, Jannatul. To whom?
You feel like you experience some kind of bitter, ness being minority in Bangladesh, right? Then you moved here and you also feel the same. a minority experience.
What's the
So
question?
My question is, did you notice any difference between these two countries? What type of what would be the main action item to overcome this, minority fields?
Okay, her question
Here.
is regarding minority that Sudhir mentioned during his talk. And do you find any difference regarding the minority issue in Bangladesh and in Canada? And okay, thank you very much.
Action item.
Okay, and the action. Okay.
Yes, actually I do believe and I do understand that there is a gulf difference. It's not the same as minority feelings or attitudes or activities here in Canada or America or any other developed country. Especially in Canada, definitely is different than in Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, and so third world country. Definitely differences there. Actually, I didn't make any comment. I was telling that I am writing a book on that aspects. When book will come, definitely book will answer all the questions. And if you tell about action.
And I'm sure that you will be telling about those actions in the book also.
Actually, the minority people.
I believe that there should be, okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We have to finish the session now. Dear audience, we are very happy that Toronto International Festival of Authors, TIFA, they have invited us for 3 sessions. Today, all the sessions will be today. This was the first session. Our next session will be at 1. Bengalis in Cambridge, 3 writers from the Bengali community who are Bengali origin writers, but writing in English, they will be participating. And at 4:30, there will be reading Bengali poems by the Bengali writers with English translation. Thank you very much for being with us for this session. Thank you very much. Thank you all.